Missing someone doesn't mean you missed the harm. It often means you miss what you hoped the relationship could be. Hi everyone, welcome back to Heal and Bloom. There is a quiet confusion that can show up after you leave someone who hurt you. Not the chaos you expected to escape, but the ache that you didn't plan for. You finally choose distance, you finally choose safety, and yet you still miss them. Today, I want to talk about why you miss someone who hurt you and why that feeling doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. We'll unpack what's actually happening beneath that longing, especially when you've loved deeply and are now learning to heal. Let's begin. One of the biggest lies that trauma whispers is, if you miss them, then maybe it wasn't that bad. But missing someone doesn't mean you missed the harm. It often means you miss what you hoped the relationship could be. You miss the good moments, the version of them that you believed in, the future that you tried to build, and the role they once played in your life. Your nervous system doesn't untangle attachment from pain overnight. It remembers connection before it fully understands safety. So when you feel that longing, it's not a sign that you imagined the hurt. It's a reflection of how deeply you loved and how much you invested. Proverbs 13:12 says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life." What you're really grieving is hope deferred, the relationship that you thought would work, and the future you thought would come. And sometimes the reason the longing feels so intense isn't just emotional, it's psychological. When love and pain have been intertwined for a long time, your body learns that pattern, and that's where things can start to feel even more confusing. When love and pain are experienced together over time, the body doesn't always know how to separate them, especially in relationships where affection was inconsistent, conflict was followed by closeness, hurt was followed by apologies, and distance was followed by temporary tenderness. Your nervous system begins to attach not just to the person, but to the cycle. Relief becomes powerful, reconnection feels intense, and the in between moments can start to feel like love, even if they're rooted in instability. So when the relationship ends, your system doesn't just miss them, it misses the emotional rhythm it was conditioned to expect. That doesn't mean that you want the chaos back. It just means that your body is still adjusting to a new definition of peace. Romans 12:2 reminds us, "Do not act like the sinful people of the world. Let God change your life. First of all, let Him give you a new mind. Then you will know what God wants you to do, and the things you do will be good and pleasing and perfect." This verse tells us that renewal happens through the transformation of the mind. And renewal takes time, which means sometimes your heart knows the truth before your nervous system fully catches up to it. Sometimes you don't even miss them. You miss having someone there. You miss not doing everything alone. You miss the feeling of texting someone first thing in the morning. And you miss the idea that someone chose you. And if I'm being honest, sometimes what we really miss is a version of ourselves who still believed it could work. There's something sobering about accepting that it didn't. It's not always about wanting the relationship back. It's sometimes about grieving the life you thought you were building. And that grief can sneak up on you in quiet moments, not because you want the pain again, but because you're adjusting to a new reality. Isaiah 43:18 through 19 talks about God doing a new thing. Do not remember the things that have happened before. Do not think about the things of the past. See, I will do a new thing. It will begin happening now. Will you not know about it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Often the new thing begins with accepting that the old one isn't coming back. And that acceptance doesn't always feel strong. Sometimes it looks like missing them and choosing not to go back anyway. I want you to know that healing doesn't mean you stop thinking about them. It doesn't mean you wake up one day and feel nothing. It doesn't mean every memory loses its weight. Sometimes healing looks like this. You miss them and you don't go back. You feel the ache and you don't betray yourself to silence it. And you remember the good moments, and you also remember why you had to leave. That's growth. That's strength that most people don't see. Galatians 5:1 says, "It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery." Stand firm, not because you feel nothing, not because you're unaffected, but because you already learned what staying costs you. Missing someone doesn't cancel your freedom, and feeling something doesn't mean you're meant to return to what once held you captive. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is feel the longing and still choose to remain free. So, what do you do when the missing shows up? Because it will. It might come in the quiet at night, or when something reminds you of them, or on a day when you're already feeling tired and vulnerable. And in those moments, the goal isn't to shame yourself out of it, it's to steady yourself through it. Here are a few things that have helped me, and it may help you too. First, name what you're actually missing. Is it comfort, security, validation, the idea of partnership? Sometimes clarity softens the intensity. Second, separate memory from meaning. Just because you remember something tender doesn't mean the relationship was healthy. Both can exist at the same time. Third, anchor yourself in truth. Write down why you left, not to relive the pain, but to protect your progress. And finally, invite God into your longing, not just into your strength, not just into your "I'm moving forward," but into the ache itself. 2 Corinthians 4:16 says, "Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day." Day by day, that's how this works. Not all at once, not in one breakthrough moment, but in small, faithful decisions that slowly rebuild you from the inside out. And that renewal is happening, even on the days it doesn't feel like it. Here's what I want you to remember. You can miss someone and still know they weren't good for you. You can feel the ache and still protect your peace. You can grieve what you hope for and still trust that God is leading you somewhere healthier. Missing them doesn't mean you belong there. It means your heart is adjusting to freedom, and freedom takes practice. Until next time, please take care and don't let longing undo what courage built. Bye.